The pirate emperor known as Kaido is the world's strongest creature. That is a title he's held for many years and has been espoused by many different people. But what does it mean? What creatures is Kaido stronger than? What is included under the category creatures, and where are they in this world of One Piece? What exactly does it all mean, and what that is not considered a creature can be stronger than Kaido? Hello Internet, Jojo here, and I had a question. What all is Kaido stronger than? We know he is incredibly strong, a definite top tier in the universe, but what all does that include? While you may think it's obvious, it's really not. We know the narrator considers him to be the strongest creature in the world, and that belief seems to be held by the vast populace of the One Piece world. But what does that title not include? What creatures and characters is he above, and what creatures and characters is he not above because they're not included in this title? First off, there are some people we can just knock out right away. Characters who clearly were not considered when Kaido was given this title. After all, the people at large only know so much, and even the narrator doesn't know much more than we do. Essentially, this title was given to him at a time where many secrets were still secret, and many people were not in the know. This means that things that the world does not know about could potentially be stronger than Kaido. This would include things like the elders, who likely don't fight on the front lines often enough for them to be considered strong by the mass populace or by the narrator. I also don't really see them being arrogant enough to, actually the people who call Kaido the strongest, so there's a reason why they wouldn't mention it. Now, I do not like the fact that they might be stronger than Kaido, especially because they've just been presented as just so lame. But they are simply not included in this title, so there's potential for them to be. It wouldn't really make it any better if they were, but that potential's there. This title also did not include Top Musica from Film Red, as it was mostly unknown by the world at large and was only talked about behind closed doors. Thus would be almost impossible for the world to know about him, and impossible for him to be considered when Kaido was given this title. Also, for obvious reasons. Only a handful of people even know about him. Her. It. We don't know. We don't know what this thing is, thus it would have to be removed from consideration. This is not to say that these characters are stronger, but they were just not considered when Kaido was getting this title. Also, it's pretty specific that Kaido is only the strongest creature alive, meaning that older things like the Void Sentry and the skulls of Onigashima don't count because they're, well, obviously dead. Whether those creatures, whatever they were, would be stronger than him, it's up for debate. Not really what we're here for, but only things that are alive were considered when given this title. That might include ores, but I'm not sure. I'm not willing to make that jump for a zombie. Alright, with the exclusions out of the way, we had to figure out what is included with the term creature, because Kaido is the world's strongest creature. What is a creature? Now you might assume that this is pretty simple, as creature should include everything, right? I mean, creature, that's like, by definition, is everything that moves and breathes. But there's a slight problem, because Whitebeard is the world's strongest man, thus drawing a distinct difference between man and creature. This is a bit weird, because unlike in real life where man is only used because humans are the only sapient creatures to exist, because there are fishmen and giants and other sapient beings, we just don't know what all is included in man. I just had the most disgusting thought. So, because a human can have children with almost every other species in One Piece, they all should fall under the mantle of humankind. Thus, that's kind of gross. So yeah, I mean, that's a thing. That's kind of gross. Except maybe fishman. Have you ever had a fishman human hybrid? I know. Oh, good lord. I just remember Dillinger. Dillinger is a hybrid, a human and fighting fishman, which implies that there is a possibility that fishmen can have children with fish, thus giving birth to said hybrid. Because as far as we are aware, I don't know. This is just weird, because if fishmen couldn't have children with fish, then they wouldn't be actually fish men. This is actually grossing me out. I think it's best to assume that man is equivalent to humankind and creatures are everything else. I think this is absolutely borderline racist in the One Piece world, but I don't believe that we have yet to see any other character from any other race be classified as the world's strongest fishman, or the world's strongest giant, or the world's strongest long leg person, implying that man and creature are the only two categories considered. I doubt even Oda really considered the ramifications of what he was writing, but that wouldn't be the first time he didn't think about what he was writing. So assuming that creatures are only excluding the human race, then we actually have a lot to work with. Essentially, any creature that is shown even in the background of a panel is usable and comparable to Kaido. This includes non-sapient creatures and sapient. So let's start off with the two giants, Dory and Bragi. These two giants seemingly had a massive strength boost in recent chapters, but I don't really think that's an actual boost. I think this is almost certainly power creep. I am sure that even now they are still intended to be as strong as they were back on Little Garden, but Oda wanted them to be relevant again despite the fact that neither of them are dead, meaning that they abandoned their duel and... Why? Why do we have to do this? Why do they have to show up? There was no point to them showing up. None. That really undermines the entire point of the Little Garden arc and Usopp's admiration of them. Usopp was inspired because they just persisted for their honor's sake. I don't think we're gonna get a satisfying explanation, so let's just move on because that's not what this video is about. I am absolutely confident that Kaido is far stronger than them because their ending bounty was 100 million berries, and Kaido's starting bounty was 70 million. And while bounty is not a direct comparison specifically with power, I have yet to see a weakling get a large bounty, and Buggy doesn't count because not only do people actually think he is strong, he does have some good feats that we'll mention a bit later. Now recall how the giants could hunt, move, and kill island-sized sea kings. Thus, Kaido should be significantly stronger than both these giants and the sea kings. In fact, Kaido should be stronger than pretty much any sea king there is because he's the strongest creature and all that. But specifically, this one that towers over Impel Down. He should be far stronger than this, as the Blugori, the martial artists of the sea, hunt this for sport. It's their job. There's a handful of them, and they hunt sea kings this size on the regular, because I didn't see anyone sounding alarms that there was a skyscraper, probably larger than skyscraper size, sea king out the door. No, they just sent the Blugori out and it dealt with it. That's the Blugori. And Luffy and Buggy both beat them up. Casually. This is what I mean by Buggy having some good feats. And this was pre-time skip, so Kaido is significantly stronger than that. Also, these shadows from Skypiea. While we don't know what they are known creatures. Now, because we would have to make assumptions on all over the place to find their strength, let's just say that Kaido is stronger than these and move on. We can get into weeds pretty quickly with that. That being said, let's move on to the creatures from the movies and the specials, because there are some fine ones to look at. Introducing Heart of Gold, one of the better TV specials, but in this special, we are introduced to Bomburi-sama, a gigantic anglerfish that appears to be like the TARDIS, bigger on the inside, or like Bowser's Castle, bigger on the inside. This anglerfish has 3 stomachs and can hold large islands in each of them. Now, normally in real life, size doesn't mean much because the larger the creature, the slower they move. Like how fleas and other insects can jump tens of times their body lengths, and humans can jump like half their height. And why elephants don't jump. It's a whole gravity thing, like their bodies simply couldn't sustain the force of gravity if they were to move that quickly. It's a thing that just don't think about it, but that's why large things don't move fast. That being said, this fish just can move multiple body lengths in seconds, putting it way too fast. I mean, think of crossing a city in a few seconds. I'm pretty sure the force of this fish thrashing around would cause worldwide floods, but okay, One Piece is weird anyway. Kaido is still stronger. Next up, we have a few turtles, the first of which come from Film Gold. In this movie, we're introduced to these turtles whose job it is to haul a 10-kilometer long, mostly solid gold casino cruise ship across the ocean nonstop. Now, these are likely the same type of turtles from the Skypiea story arc, so while they aren't canon, there are turtles in canon that are of a similar size and we can assume a similar strength as well. But even if they were absolutely not canon, I don't generally care. I mean, come on, anything pulling a golden casino is gonna be cool. I'm gonna consider it because that's just too cool to ignore. Also, there's this gigantic turtle from movie 7 that almost runs in and destroys an island, but that's just another turtle. There's a lot of turtles in One Piece that just do impressive stuff. I mean, are they considered sea kings? Because like sea kings are very, very distinct to look after all. Like, and like Chopper could talk to this turtle, and only like Poseidon can talk to sea kings. So is this not a sea king? Is there like sea king turtles out there that are even larger than this thing? That's an actually interesting thought. Huh.
Don't ask questions. Just consume product and then get excited for next product.
Anyway, Kaido is still stronger than these creatures. And I think that covers most of it. So these are just a few of the massive things that Kaido is stronger than. Who knows if any of these will be explained in detail, and who knows if we'll get any more gigantic creatures other than Zunisha in the future. But until then, thank you for watching. See you next time. Remember to stay spectacular. JoJo out. Bye-bye.